Saturday. I called one of my chiefs, Battalion Chief Joe Gordon, to talk to him about this, and he talked to our Fire Chief Lenny Stearns, who's here as well. And they were very concerned about my well-being, so they were concerned about the safety, making sure everything was going to be safe for us. And I said, listen, Chief, we won't be anywhere near anything. We're going to be so far away from the danger, you're not even going to believe how far away. Of course, that wasn't exactly true. EVP tweeted out a picture of me sitting on a tank. I think the cat is now out of the bag, so I have to just be honest and let them know. So you may have to put on earmuffs for certain parts of this presentation, Chief, so I apologize in advance. So the number one question that I was asked by a lot of the media over there was, why did you come to Israel? You know, you're not Jewish, you don't have any family here, so what would motivate you to leave your job, your family, your friends? And my family's here, by the way, my mother and my father. And you know, why would you leave your home to come to Israel and do this? And I'm going to answer that question in a minute, but I wanted to first say something that most of you may not know. The only 9/11 memorial in the world outside of the United States that has all the names of the victims inscribed is in Israel. Yeah. It's the only one. So when you talk about friendship, and I think that I've been following and reading about Israel and studying Israel since 1987, and I've always referred to Israel as our good friend and our ally in the Middle East. But I've actually been wrong about that for all these years. Because when I was there and in the trenches, and Darren and I were riding on the fire engine with guys, we didn't always speak the language, and Darren would have to get out his Google Translate, and he's talking and showing them what they're showing, and he's driving on the road reading it, and we're like, no, David, look on the road. And when we're doing all these things, you know, it really is about a family. It's about a family. So I've been wrong for all these years, so I want to apologize for calling Israel our best friend when they are our family, and I will never again say they're our best friends. They're from now on our family. So I just want to say that. So we got to do a lot of interesting things there. Some of them were maybe a little bit dangerous, Chief, maybe just a little bit. One of them was the detachment that we were with. There was a soldier, an American firefighter, and an Israeli firefighter on every engine. One of the main engines that we were on was an armor-plated bulletproof engine, which I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but I was riding on one. Darren and I were both on this engine. It came equipped with Kevlar vests and helmets, and sometimes we were, you know, very, very close. I mean, the first time I've ever heard the call to prayer was coming out of Gaza. That's how close we were. Wow. So, we were at one of the, what we like to call an IDF safe house, which is very close. We were there during the day, then at night we go back to the stations just because we just didn't stay that close at night. And the IDF commander who was in charge of the entire Southern Division, he says, we're sitting down eating, and by the way, Israelis love to eat. Food. They're cleaning up breakfast and they're talking about lunch. So the IDF commander says, hey,
you know the secret?
Yeah.
This is our secret.
It's unbelievable. So I'm like, we just ate.
There's no spots on our mission.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So the IDF commander comes and says, hey, do you want to see Gaza? And I was like, hey, I came all this way. I'm like, hell yeah, I want to see Gaza. Let's go. So he says, come with me. So it was me and the firefighter from Baltimore. His name is Jeff Ellenberg, and he's actually a physician, and he is a volunteer firefighter in Baltimore. So he says, come with me. So he takes us on this walk, and we're walking through the kibbutz we're on. We go up to the border between Gaza, and there's an IDF observation tower. So it's like a water tower almost, but it's an observation deck. He's like, okay, we're gonna see Gaza. So he has his M16 and his binoculars. And so we start climbing up this ladder. And as we're climbing up the ladder, he gives us some instruction. He says, okay, if snipers start shooting at us, I want you guys to climb down as fast as you can. And then remember that pile of rock and sand back there? We're gonna meet back there and we're done. And when I tell you he said this as though he was saying, hey guys, when we leave here, we're gonna go get some milk at the store. We're gonna get some shashuka. We're gonna have a good time. Like, that is literally how he was saying this to me. So I look over at Jeff. I go, did he just say if they start shooting? I'm already like 3 rungs in here, so there's no backing down at this point. I'm committed, so I'm climbing up. We get to the top, and I have my Plantation Fire Department hat on, and on the back we have an American flag. And so I'm looking through these binoculars, and I have my hat on backwards because I couldn't see. And I realized I had the flag, and I was like, actually like, whoa, let me just spin this. And I actually lipped the words like, I'm from Canada. I wanted to say, I'm from Ethiopia. Just in case. 5 minutes later, 5 more soldiers come up. I guess they saw us up there. 5 minutes later, 5 more soldiers come up into this observation center. And I look back and I'm excited. I'm like, wow, more targets. My chances of being shot just went down. So it was amazing because we were so close. I mean, you could see everything. It was people starting fires and just running around. I don't know what they were doing, but it was really just amazing to be that close. And the only other thing I want to say, because I have a lot of things I could talk about, but the only other thing I can say is that the Israeli people, the Jewish people there are just absolutely amazing. One of the things I loved about Israelis is they never ever want to say no. So you say, hey, can we take a picture with you? Oh yes, of course, come take a picture. Or hey, we saw a tank. We were driving back from a fire, and there was a tank sitting outside the base. And hey, can we go see the tank? And they're like, oh yes, of course. So we drive in and we go over to the tank. And the tank is running, by the way, and the door is open. So we walk up to them like, hey, can we take a picture with you? Yes, of course. And even when they say no, they still say yes. I was like, hey, can I go inside the tank? He goes, yes, of course, but not right now. They just want to say yes to everything. It's amazing. It's amazing. They're just so positive. I absolutely love that. But I actually have a question for my fire chief here. Chief, how many working fires did we have in Plantation last year?
32.
Okay, so we had 32 fires, working fires in Plantation, which means we had to pull hose and we had to spray water on a fire. The last day Darian and I were in Israel, there were 26 fires that day.
Yeah.
26 fires that day. Now imagine if we had to fight 26 to 40 fires every single day. When Darian said it was all hands on deck, he wasn't kidding. You're talking Air Force, people from the north, you're talking people, they were canceling vacation, the 24, 40 hours was over, everyone was working, all shifts. It was really a relief for them to see us coming onto these engines and to help. And so when I say that you have no idea the impact that your efforts here at the Community Foundation of Broward has on this effort, you have absolutely no idea how incredible of a situation it is for us to be able to go over there and to be able to help our brothers and sisters, not our friends, our brothers and sisters in this effort. And we didn't, Debbie was right, we didn't hesitate when they said, hey, would you do this again? I don't know if I'd climb in that tower again, but would we do this again? Absolutely, we would. It was just such an amazing experience. The food, the people, just the camaraderie, it's just really, really amazing. We're so happy to go. And just to get serious for a minute, to answer the question that I posed before that I was asked the most from the reporters, why did you come to Israel? What are you doing here? And I gave them some good answers about coming to help and stop fires and those sorts of things, but it's really much more than that. What I like to think back to is, who was it that came to help the Jewish people 80 years ago? Who came to help the Israeli people 80 years ago? Really? Really no one at first. No one. And so one of the things that I took to heart was when my best friend Michael Yavner called me 2.5 years ago and said, hey, I have this friend Brian Strelitz who's I don't know, he's part of this organization, EVP, and they are looking for American firefighters to send to Israel. I said, I want to do it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know if it cost any money. I said, let's go. And from that moment, my commitment to this has been rock solid. And I just absolutely think that when the state of Israel and the Jewish people are in trouble, I think we can never, ever, ever again not stand up and push back against the terror that is coming for them. So I thank you guys. I really appreciate it.